It's time for a nice little healthy Cardano update, especially on the macro charts in terms of this shift into the parabolic bull run for Cardano. In this video, I want to break down where we are. This is kind of a pulse check on the ADA charts. It's been a minute since I've done actually, I think, a Cardano only video. I think this is only second one of the month. So hit the subscribe, hit the like, and let's just jump right into the video. This is the weekly chart zoomed out. Now we've retraced so far. Much of crypto has, you can see on these weekly candles falling off this 200-week moving average. Before we even dive into the weekly, this move is, I think, it's the most bullish thing that could happen for ADA. What's happening with Bitcoin and the rest of crypto retracing, it is the most bullish thing that could happen. I want to revisit really briefly this clip from December 19th. This was almost like a month and a half ago. Check it out. That's not to say it's going to happen now, but are we going to get a similar move, like some type of retracement to the downside, and are we going to have to wait for this break of structure indicator to trigger? For me, so that was ADA topping out in this general area on the weekly back here at this 200-week moving average resistance. We're talking about this move to the downside. One of the things I'm gonna talk about this in this video. We had a LuxAlgo indicator, which was this break of structure that happened at the beginning of the last parabolic move of the last cycle for ADA. And it was at this very similar time in terms of this move for ADA. What I mean by that is this current move out of the bottom that we see with ADA, from a technical analysis perspective, is extremely similar to the post-halving move that we had back here post 2020 Bitcoin halving. So the move back then, very similar to the move that we just got right now. And what happened was ADA, off of that swing high, retraced to key moving averages in between the 20 and the 50. And then it made its move to the upside. This break of structure came into play. This acted as a really good bull market door type of indicator for ADA, because at that moment was when Bitcoin was breaking its bull market doors in November 2020. So or at least I am anticipating, when will a very similar setup happen for ADA? So far, as you can see from the video that I posted around a month and a half ago, we've started to retrace down, just like I discussed in that video, kind of mimicking the move from this last cycle, right, to these moving averages. And this is a very commonplace move anyway. When we get overextended from moving averages on all of these time frames, this is the weekly, it is just so normal to retrace to those moving averages. We talk about that so often, right? And that's what's happening. So even still, there's room to the downside. You notice around 40 cents is the 20-week moving average, and we have around 36 cents is the 50-week moving average. Now, what I want to do is I want to show you something on the daily chart, because we're going to dissect now this move that is occurring right now on the weekly that you see there. We're going to dissect it on the daily. It's been tough, and it usually is, when you get this nice parabolic move, this nice exit, and most cryptos were doing this, it's tough to start getting a new form of structure on these charts. And so we have our swing high back here. We're trying to kind of put in a swing low. The story has been, and I'm not going to play the clip, but this is from also in December 27th, we had the symmetrical triangle target to 47 cents to the downside. Now, that was short-term structure on the 4-hour. I believe that was the 4-hour. And this is kind of what it looks like. We've really trickled down too around the 47-cent region. And right now, even still, if we pivot back to the daily, there's not a ton of structure on this chart. And when ADA is just hanging out, right, maybe right below some moving averages that it just broke below, right? Here's the daily chart, the 20-day, the 50-day. We even got that 20-day crossing below the 50-day. When it's just hanging out here, it's iffy. It really is iffy in terms of what is going to happen next for any crypto, in this case, ADA. So still no structure. We don't have a ton of support even. Obviously, we have a consolidation area is kind of pretty clear around 47 cents, that target out of that symmetrical triangle to the downside. But what I want to do is I want to go back. Let's look at that move in that last cycle where ADA putting in a very similar type of move now. This is what it looks like on the daily. So there it is going into the Shelly hard fork. Just see ADA topping out and then retracing. Now check out the similarities. Note back then, the 20-day moving average crossing below the 50-day moving average right there. And this is really what I want to point out, because I've been discussing this on Bitcoin charts, on the ADA charts. This right here, this move. So it's falling through those moving averages. It pulls into the 20 and just below the 50-day moving average. After we get a 20-day moving average crossing a 50-day, this pullback into those moving averages is so common before falling lower, right? This is something I've been talking a lot about. So if we really dissect this chart, this right here, kind of this moment of this retracement, this is where ADA is right now. And you can see we haven't quite had even the pullback to those moving averages just yet. So we see the 20-day crossing below the 50, and it looks like ADA wants to pull into this general area. We could get, and this is going to speak to a potential bullish situation too, so just hang in there, but we could get a nice move in the very short term, even to begin this new week that's coming up, maybe into the 50s, right? Maybe even break a little bit above the 51 cent area. That's at the 20-day moving average. We have the 50-day all the way up here around 56. But this entire area, that's a very big area of resistance. This could be lower high resistance, and then ADA continues falling. That would be such a common thing for any crypto in general. A technical analysis perspective, this makes complete sense. And then if we take that even further, it makes complete sense because that's exactly what ADA did last cycle, right? In this very similar move. Now, I want to talk about what I've been talking a lot about with Bitcoin. It's that whole, is it different this time? I think we've already identified it's a little different this time because this move that's happening, this cycle around, this is happening sooner than last time. Bitcoin halving is still months away. So this nice move, I don't even think we should be here yet, but we're here. But here's where it could be different. Obviously, we need to pull into these moving averages, but we need to break above these moving averages. And this is something I've been talking a lot about in terms of the Bitcoin charts. You go to a Bitcoin daily chart, I just want to show it to you because I think from a macro perspective, Bitcoin acting as a roadmap for altcoins and crypto in general, this is the setup I've been watching. The case has been, can Bitcoin consolidate above this upper trend line and below this macro Fibonacci bull market door 618 line and kind of just put in some type of new structure and then continue to the upside, right? Even prior to halving. This is this bullish, out of the box, hasn't happened before type of move. If Bitcoin can manage to do this, and probably it needs to happen in the short term, as opposed to getting rejected on its own moving averages and falling lower into this pattern, if Bitcoin can do that, crypto starts trending upwards, and let's go back to the ADA daily chart, we could be in a situation where ADA starts breaking the moving averages, different than last time. But not only that, the structure on this daily chart actually starts forming, right? So we have our swing high area, and we're trying to identify the swing low area. We start putting in structure that we're anticipating. And again, I never know what structure will look like. Could it be an ascending triangle, right? I have no idea. Could it be a symmetrical triangle? No idea. But what I do know is, could we see a bottoming out here? That would be different. I want to say that, and I want to highlight this. If we don't, and if ADA continues lower, this would be normal. This isn't even a bearish thing. I'm not even bearish saying that. That's just normal. But it's the whole, will it be different this time? And can ADA break above the 20, the 50? And this would just be probably a sign that all cryptos are operating in a very bullish manner right now. And there's multiple reasons why that could be the case. If not, then we're looking for this probably not being the bottom point of structure from this swing high, right? So swing high, maybe the swing low is more down in the mid 30s. That's quite a drop from where ADA is right now, because we're looking at ADA at around 48 cents. If it falls out, it's another 20 to 25% to the downside. But notice something. If ADA does do that, maybe it keeps going up a little bit. Rejection at 53 starts falling again. And it's just weeks of pain. It's weeks of pain. A month or more of pain to 37 cents. Go back. Look at the move. Right to the 200-day moving average. It's pain. It's not looking good for ADA. Swing high of 17 cents down to 7 cents. Looking so bearish. 55% to the downside. And then what happened? It was off to the races, everybody. It's almost like in a matter of weeks, ADA was testing $1, right? From 7 cents. So these things can flip so quick. So just it's something I need to remind myself for all of crypto, even when we start, if we start seeing even more downtrend right now. That's what happened last time. So I should have led with that, because that was probably the most important piece of this video, to see that move. 17 cents down to 7 cents. 17 down to 7, and then bull run commences. So that's what I'm waiting for on ADA, though. I'm very curious again to see what happens at these moving averages. I want to see them tested so very much. But even still, as I do the video, it's around 51.5 cents to the 20-day. ADA seems like it's struggling at 49 cents. We need that pop to that area, that's 20-day, and even to the 50, right around 56 cents at the 50 moving average. So these are some things I'm watching, everybody, but zoom out on the charts. We are so on pace. Everything is so on pace. And I don't just say that for ADA. In terms of how I'm viewing these markets, this is just what I'm seeing for crypto in general. There is a strength to it this season around, happening a little sooner than last cycle. So I'd be very curious to see what happens next in this week ahead. Let me know your thoughts, everybody. I appreciate you cruising through on this Saturday. If you're out there, hope you're having a good weekend. Hit the subscribe, hit the like. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.